There's a few reasons. The ones which probably come to mind now are one, and the ambition. I definitely see myself moving into a senior role, working in sport, and to equip myself with the best skill sets and the best understanding of what being in a position which is of a C-suite or board level. The program therefore came across as bridging that gap to hopefully prepare me for that role further down the line in my career. Also, word of mouth. I'm lucky to have worked in the industry for a number of years now, and a few people I've come across have really sung the praises of how the LeaderBoard Academy program has gone a long way in advancing them both personally and professionally. And probably the last point I'll probably then speak to is really around the change, very much so when it comes to representation. And I feel not only is it an ambition of mine to achieve career-wise, but I also believe there is an opportunity for a gateway to be opened. Having an individual from my background aspiring to be in those positions and hopefully being it one day can definitely be looked upon as something which individuals from future generations can definitely aspire to become, but also the ladder or the path towards it can be readily showcased, spoken to, and made a lot more accessible to how it is today. So you almost hope that programs like this don't need to exist because the opportunities are so thick and fast. So it's kind of trying to put myself in the best position to create the change for those that come in the generations behind. My favorite part there's a few, which was a good sign. Speaking to two, I'll say one was the people you meet. We work in such a vast world, but I think the industries we work in make it even smaller. And when you can identify people who see and view the world in a similar way to you, but then begin to walk in the world in a similar way, and then you can confine that to work in the same industry as you, is very powerful. So to find that ready-made collective of individuals brought together, and you're able to connect, share, grow together over the duration of the program was really powerful. And it's now set up connections that I know for the time it was there was very powerful. But even now moving forward, the connections that I've made has already created other opportunities, not only for me, but also for individuals who I know I can connect people with who have a similar likeness to those individuals that I've been blessed to kind of like share the experience with. So the people piece and who you can connect with was definitely a real strong point. And then secondly, I'll say loads of programs and kind of career development pieces are very much based around drawing case studies, speaking to lots of theory, lots of academic practices, which give you everything on paper. And then sometimes you're left to your own intention to go and realize it and bring it to life through practice. But where I think a real difference for this program is that each program or each kind of area that we were kind of spoken or shown to, someone who was very much from a similar background to ourselves, who'd had walked a similar career trajectory to us and is actively doing what they're speaking to, was brought in to deliver the particular insight piece, whether it was around governance, safeguarding, financing, budgeting, leadership, conflict management. You had individuals who were actually doing those things in their current roles, who were giving their live experiences of something which was relatable to us that they might have experienced literally the day before. So I think the kind of like time relevancy of the individuals was a real strong point as well. One reason the program will speak to individuals depending on where they're at for a number of reasons, but when you look at what Sporting Equals is trying to achieve, it's very much around preparing individuals from diverse and underrepresented backgrounds to take that step into roles of influence where you can create change and deliver impact. So one, the only way you can be prepared to go into the roles is to equip yourself with the skills. So when opportunities do arise, you're best prepared to walk into them. But also, if you want to create the change, sometimes you need to be the change. And I think these programs are one piece of the puzzle which allows people to realize that if you really want to create genuine impact, which is sustainable, you can't necessarily rely on the system at play to create the changes for you. So the role is, what can you do to insert yourself to go about moving that needle? And I think the program goes a long way on taking ownership and accountability for the steps that you can take in your individual path. Brentford, outside of working and collaborating with the club in a number of different capacities, they very much walk how they talk. They're a club who very much their accolades speak for itself. They've won numerous awards for their work when it comes to equity, diversity and inclusion. They're a club who are very much built around community and very much trailblazers in a number of areas. All of them I can't go into now, but it was a club which, as soon as they made the opportunity available, it felt so right, in the sense of, I believe every organization, use an example of sport and football, should have a equivalent advisory group. But when Brentford made it come available, you almost saw it as you're walking into not only an opportunity to not take such a heavy burden on, because they are such a trailblazing club and they are creating change and impact in so many different ways. So you didn't feel that you're coming into a position where you're literally being a shovel and you're going to do so much hard digging. You kind of felt that you're already ready-made in a vehicle which is on the road to change, and all it needs now is just to continue to fuel itself and continue to have individuals who can take it onto the next stage of its journey. And they've already started that journey. So where you are going to be part of something which is progressive, I think you want to lean into that and be a part of that as much as possible. And Brentford Football Club have always advocated for all those areas of ED&I. So when the opportunity came available, for me, there wasn't a better club, let alone better sporting organisation in the country, that I feel would be able to support and also look at the space in a similar way to which I see it myself. There's a number of things, still early days, so I'm looking forward to realising some really, really useful insights that I can add to myself, both personally and professionally. I think so far it's definitely been understanding how a club works. I feel from working in sport, you get to understand it to a good degree, but actually being in the skin of the club is the way I like to put it. It's quite a really insightful piece with loads of learnings. So just understanding how the club operates and how every part of its strategy and fabric is intertwined to speak to the same thing, it is very, very insightful. And that is a continuing journey. So we've only started that as the group was only established August and then came together for the first time late last year. But so far, I think what definitely has been a real quick win is just the people in the room who make up the group. I'm a firm believer in iron sharpens iron, and there's some serious iron in that room. Individuals from a very diverse background within sport and outside of sport, which I think is very much important, that diversity of thought. But individuals who have done some amazing and inspiring things. So for me, just a real blessing, but also such a learning opportunity just to rub shoulders with some of those individuals. So I think with this space, you learn through your own experiences, but you continue to understand where this space needs to go by sharing others' experiences. And there's some real powerful experiences which are coming together, which have shown various insights of how they are looking to lead in a way which creates change. So just be part of this moment, which very much will become a movement, is something that's very inspiring. So I'm looking forward to connecting and creating change with the rest of the other board members.